Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a woman who is aged 47 years old. When I went to South Africa, there are a couple of things that happened whilst I was still there, and I really do not know if God will ever forgive me. When I returned back to Zim with the money that I had, then I crossed over into Mozambique. A couple of things happened, strange things, they really happened, in which I saw that maybe God was punishing me because of some of the things which I did when I was in South Africa. But I want your listeners to help me out here. I have been blaming myself ever since that time when these things happened until this very day. I am a woman who has not known any peace since that day until today. I never even thought that I would return back home with everything that I saw in South Africa, but I am here, I am back home now, I am just struggling. But the problem is that there was this other woman that I was working with. She was also working as a maid for the same man that I started working for. I found her already working for that man. This was in the year 2009. At that time, I was still very young, and when I arrived in South Africa, I started staying with my cousin's sister, but whenever she would be at work, her husband would return back from work saying that he wanted some food, in which he will start to touch me, and that was something that I never wanted to happen. I did not even have a passport. I had nothing, and then I found a job, and I was more than happy, even though the pay, it was not a lot, because those people that I was working for, they said that they cannot pay me so well since I did not have proper papers. I was working as a domestic worker there in Gauteng. You can just say Pretoria, but not exactly in Pretoria. This house was very big. There was a family there. They had money. This family, they had a lot of money, but there were things that were happening in their home, things that I could not even understand and explain. The very first day at work, I was taken by Maria, who was from Mozambique. She was older, and she had been working for that family ever since she had also arrived in South Africa. She took me to another room, and she said that in this room, that is where we are supposed to leave food. In the morning, you bring even your wheat bix. In the afternoon, as well as in the evening, you will be bringing food. But when you return back, you will see that the breakfast that you would have served in that room, someone would have eaten it in the afternoon, the pap even in the evening. Maybe you would have cooked rice or just a small meal. Someone would have eaten it, and you will need to clean that house. So I never even asked a lot of things. She only said that you just need to know that you came here to South Africa to work. Things that happen here, they are none of your business. So this family, they had their own child. This boy, he was not okay. He was mentally challenged, and he had been in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. The woman who was said to be the second wife to that rich guy treated him as if he was gold. She would scream at us if we would get too close to him. He would be like, "You are not his mother. Don't touch him unless I say so." But one thing that I started to notice was that the way that they treated this boy, whenever there was no money in their home, then they will start to mistreat him. He would always be crying when there was no money in the home, and then the moment that they will start to treat him nice again, then you would see them driving brand new vehicles. They'll start to make money going around the world, leaving him behind, this woman and her kids. So it was like a never-ending cycle, and it was so traumatic for me to see someone that was living with a disability being mistreated the way that they were mistreating him. Then there was this other day when the accident happened. It was in the evening, and it was very hot. The madam and the boss, they had gone out, and we were left to watch. And me and Maria, we were outside within a very short period of time, the madam and the boss, they returned back and they told us to go to our sleeping quarters. When we had gone to our sleeping quarters, that was when I saw a message on my phone. I was told to return back so that I can give them something to drink. When I was busy doing that, that was when I had a splash and a scream. I ran to the swimming pool and I saw the boy was there. I was so scared to get into the swimming pool because I really do not even know how to swim. I rushed back to where the madam and the boss were just sitting. They just ignored me, even though I was crying. I could not even believe the way that they continued drinking their alcohol without even saying a thing. Within a very short period of time, I saw a body that was floating on the water, on top of the water, and they said that I was supposed to return back to my sleeping quarters because there were other things that they needed to do. They left this boy, I tell you, he was floating on top of the water maybe for about 45 minutes. That was when I saw flashing lights. I thought that it was an ambulance. To my surprise, Brother Nashi, I had received another message which was like, come here now. I rushed there and they had told me not to tell Maria that an accident had happened, so she did not even know what was taking place. In that moment when I returned back to the sleeping quarters, she had already fallen fast asleep. She did not even know that the boy had drowned in the swimming pool. When I returned there, that was when I was taken into the boss's study room. He looked at me, he was angry. He was like, do you have a passport? And I said, no, boss, I don't have a passport. And then he said, so you are going to get arrested. I started shaking and I said, please forgive me, please just let me hide somewhere else. If you say that the police are here trying to find people without passports. But then he looked at me and he said to me, tell me the truth. If I give you money, will you go back to your country and never return back? And if I give you this money, will you agree to the things that I want you to say? So I agreed because I was shaking and I was so scared because two police officers, they were in the kitchen with the boss lady. And then that was when I was told that a statement was needed to be provided. And this statement was going to state that Maria was the one who was responsible for the death of their son. I could not even believe the things that I was hearing at that time. And then I was told to go and call her. It was like the most painful thing and difficult thing that I had ever done in my life because I knew that I was going to lie. A statement had already been written in which Maria was the murderer. I went there and I called her, and Maria was then asked by the police if she was the one who was taking care of this boy and if she was the one who had pushed him into the water. Brother Nashi, before she could even respond, the police officer, he looked at me and I nodded and he said, are you saying that she pushed him? And I said, yes. I felt as if my throat, there was something that was holding me by the neck because of the guilty feeling that I was feeling at that time. She looked at me. The only thing that she could say was like, why? As they were dragging her to the police van, she screamed and she said that she was innocent. The very next day, I was given money. It was not a lot, but to me, it was a lot of money. It was 15,000 that I brought with me to Zim. I then went to Mozambique trying to buy some things so that at least I can start to resell used clothes. But when I was about to get onto the bus, that was when I saw a python. This python, it was just standing there. It did not want me to get onto the bus, but I told myself that I needed to be strong. So I entered into the bus. That is how I started my small flea market, which I'm still running to this very same day. Last time that I had a terrible dream, I saw this woman. Maybe it was somewhere in 2015, I truly do not remember very well. When I saw her in my dreams, she was following me and she kept on saying that you are the one, as she was following me. The strange thing that happened after she had been following me for a very long time was that when I finally entered into my bedroom, I found her in bed with that boy who was crippled, and then the boy pointed at me and they both disappeared. So I then went to a traditional healer. I told him, but the other side of the story, not the same story that I told you now. So this traditional healer then told me to go and get 4 empty bottles, in which I went and I bought 4 cold drinks, emptied them, and I gave them to the traditional healer. He then poured some medicine into them, and he said that I should bury them into the 4 corners of my yard, in which that is exactly what I did. To this very day, there are many times when I feel so terrible about the things that I did. What scares me the most is that 2 of my brothers, they have since lost their children, and I had a very terrible dream before this had happened. It was that same woman that was dragging these 2 boys that passed away into the swimming pool, in which we are staying in the villages. There is no swimming pool that can ever be found. The last one that passed away, he died whilst he was with his other friends as they were herding cattle. He drowned at this other dam where they usually swim. How he drowned, they don't even know. They said it was as if there was something that dragged him to the bottom of the river. So this is my story. Currently, I am working with another traditional healer. If he assists me and helps me, if he manages to chase away the spirit of this woman, I will be back with the story. Maybe I can give you the phone numbers so that other people can be helped as well. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister right there. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.